Night Live, Super Success Meeting, July 2nd. So we are focusing today on kicking off your new year in the best possible way. And everybody in the room, you need to pan the room so we can see all these beautiful women. They have all come out to learn how to make their new year even more fantastic than the past year that we've just finished celebrating. And many of us are getting up and down because we are also having spray tan night tonight. So this is why I'm so bronzed and unlike my normal Ivory 2 self. And I had to throw that in because I feel very strange when I look in the mirror. We're talking about making goals and setting goals. And as we are focusing on your new year, and please y'all continue to interact and ask questions because it makes my life a whole lot easier. We're making SMART goals, and your SMART goals, I want you to imagine an acronym going down, S-M-A-R-T. And this group already knows, so all together now, ladies, what does the S stand for?
Specific.
They are so good. Specific. You want your goal to be specific. You don't just want to say, I want to improve my business this year, or I want to build my customer base this year, or I want to make more money this year. That's not specific enough. Your specific comes in when you start thinking about the W's, just as if you were a reporter. Who, what, when, where, which, why. Mary Kay keeps talking about discovering our why, and that is very important in our goal setting too. So a specific goal has a much greater chance of being achieved than does a general goal. So we want to be very specific. So your goal might be something like, I want to develop 50 new customers in the next 3 months, or I want to develop 50 new customers in the next 6 months, or I want to develop 100 new customers by this time next year. That's achievable, that's specific, and that's something that you can focus on. It may be that I want to go on target for my car by X date, by having a team of X number of consultants who are ordering X number of wholesale production. That's a specific goal. I think a lot of women in our unit, though, who may be watching this by video, they may not be as specific in their goals as some of y'all are, because most of the women who show up at meetings tend to be women, you know, you're hearing about goals every time you have a meeting. You're seeing the queen of sales. So you're seeing that our queen tonight had what kind of a week? What was the queen?
She had $1,500.
$1,500 in sales. Lauren, congratulations. And the second was over $1,100 in sales. So when you hear that at your meetings and when you hear it on video, then you think, you know, I'm sorry, I thought I was supposed to be doing $20 last week. You know, not necessarily if you want a goal to grow your business. So let's think about your goal. Think about specific. That's important. M goes right hand in hand with what we were just talking about. M stands for, who wants to guess?
Measurable.
Yay, you knew this already.
Yeah.
Hey, Jane. Jane's been to class. You want to establish a concrete, measurable, attainable goal for yourself. So for our Mary Kay business, what are some attainable measurements? First off, I think it's easier to go this way. Throw me out something that's not very realistic or measurable. That's not very, maybe something's not measurable. Throw me a non-measurable goal.
I want to be a director.
I want to be a director. We hadn't measured that. I want to be a director. I want to drive a free car. Exactly, that's not measurable. But I want to, again, back to specific, I want to be a director with blank number of unit members by blank date. So to determine if your goal is measurable, ask questions such as how much. That's important in our business because we do have a company, we own our own companies where we can have an amount put on what we're doing. How many? If you want to have 3 new team members by the end of the month, we know that it takes 5 interviews to get a team member, so that's 15 interviews, correct? So where are you going to meet those 15 people to do those 15 interviews? Are you going to do 15 new faces and interview all of them? You can do that, some people do. Are you going to have a party of 3 and have 45 new faces and interview 15 of them? That's great too, because then you're picking out really the cream that's rising to the top. So it can be easier that way. All right, what about the A? Jane, do you remember what the A stands for?
It's not fair for me to answer.
Yeah, I can. You can cheat with me.
Go
David
ahead.
Finney will be proud of you. What is A?
Attainable.
Very good. How'd you know that?
That was what it was, yeah.
I love attainable with our Mary Kay life because we do teach y'all to think big. Mary Kay said, shoot for the moon, that way you'll land among the stars. As a director, and I think Bryn feels the same way, we try to help you put an anchor on your goal so that it is realistic and attainable. That's very, very important. If you set a goal for yourself that you want to be a director by August 1st, and maybe you've never held more than 5 skincare classes ever, is that very attainable? Probably not. unless you're gonna go out and you're gonna work full-time, 40 hours a week, your Mary Kay business for the next 4 weeks, and then it might be attainable. So we can help you look at your goal, and we can help you evaluate the amount of effort you're willing to put into it to get the results. Is it attainable? I can use this example. I had a consultant go over the inventory information, and you know how it asks the quiz of how much money do you want to make? And then it asks how many hours a week are you wanting to devote to your business? She wanted to make $1,200 a month. She wanted to devote 2 hours a week to her business. Is that attainable? I told her she might want to reevaluate. She might either want to bump up the hours a week that she was willing to work, or she might want to adjust down her goal. Otherwise, she was going to be holding a $600 skincare class every single, well, she only wanted to do one a month, so that would, she'd have to hold a $2,400 skincare class. It's a little bit of a lofty shoot, so probably not in her best interest. So you want to make sure they're attainable. You can attain most any goal you set when you plan your steps wisely and you establish a time frame that allows you to carry out those steps. Please use us to let us help you plan those steps. Goals that may have seemed far away and out of reach eventually move closer and become attainable, not because your goals shrink, but because you grow to match them. Remember, Mary Kay always said that a rubber band, once it's stretched, never goes back to its original shape. I think that's very cool. When you list your goals, by the way, this is important. When you list them, when you write them down, when you put them on a piece of paper, then you build your self-image. You begin to see yourself attaining that. That comes from the paper. You know, I love it that there's a verse in Proverbs that says, Psalms, commit your ways to the Lord and all your plans will succeed. So that's why we do a goal poster. We are committing our way to the Lord, and that's very important. You see yourself as worthy of these goals, and then you develop the traits and the personality that allows you to possess them. Wow. So once you draw it out and you map it out, you get better. It just happens. It's scientifically proven. Don't question the scientist. R. What does R stand for? I've said this one a lot already.
Realistic.
I have mentioned realistic a lot already. Realistic goals, and those are very, very carefully drawn out in your mind. You're going to know, those of you who are here tonight, I know, you know already what's realistic goal. But some of the women watching on the video may not even realize how realistic and concrete success can happen for them in the Mary Kay business. If you had asked Allison 6 months ago, do you think you'll sell $1,200 in the next 2 weeks? She would have said, huh? Now she's doing it just about every 2 weeks because it's become realistic. That's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. So if somebody says, oh, but I work a full-time job and I'm bringing home X number of thousands of dollars a month, I can't do that in Mary Kay. And then they open up their Applause magazine and they see women by the hundreds who are doing it. Mary Kay would say, what do they have going that you can't fix? They don't have anything going that you can't fix. I can look at Linda Tupin's $36,000 a month paycheck and go, Linda has jewelry at home ec just like I do. She's from Kentucky, and I bet she'd say Leslie also. You know, because that's just the kind of women we are. And we can make the big money. So that's pretty exciting. This is pretty cool. To be realistic, a goal must represent an objective to which you are both willing and able to work. A goal can be very high and be realistic. You are the only one who can decide just how high your goal should be. But you be sure that every goal represents substantial progress. A high goal is frequently easier to reach than a low one because a low goal exerts low motivational force.
Mm-hmm.
The months that I only did $1,500 wholesale, which is what, if you do $1,500 every month in wholesale, you will be on the National Court of Sales. So if you sell $3,000 a month, you will be on the National Court of Sales. And so the months that we did that, we're like, oh, piece of cake. And so then we got a little lazy, and we had a couple of months where we didn't do that, and then we had to play catch up that last month. So you want to be cautious with that and don't set your goals too small, because if you set your goal too small, number one, you're not going to grow into it. You know, when somebody says, I want to win my car in 2 years from now, I know, that's like watching a faucet drip. And y'all, anybody ever tried to sleep when a faucet was dripping? Drip. 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 It'll drive you crazy. Setting your goal too far away will drive you crazy. Momentum says, go ahead and suck it up and get it done. Get it over with and enjoy the rewards. Work really hard right now so that you can play later. Just get it over with. That's why they tell Brent and I, become national sales directors right now. We don't have to wait 10 years. We can do it in the next 3 months. We just saw it happen with Cheryl Fulcher and her people. So that's kind of exciting. The T stands for timely. A goal should be within a grounded time frame. With no time frame tied to it, there is no sense of urgency. And girlfriends, if you don't have a sense of urgency, it ain't gonna happen. Have you ever noticed how you can say, I want to lose 10 pounds? But if you don't have a deadline on there, you're not gonna lose that 10 pounds. But if you've got a class reunion coming up in 6 weeks, you can sure enough get that 10 pounds off, can't you? Because you got a timely goal and a timely deadline. So the T is important. And Mary Kay is never gonna give you a quota that you don't give yourself. The good news about that is Mary Kay is never going to give you a quota. The bad news is you're the one who's got to make a quota for yourself. So if you can suck it up and figure it out as to where you want to be and how you want to get there, then your goals can come true. So now I'm going to show y'all my goal poster. I'm excited. Brittany, you have to walk with me.
Okay.
This is our Finny on Fire goal poster for this year. Made it this morning. So excited. Very doable, very realistic, very attainable. We're going to have 4 first-line directors this seminar year. That's a great attainment. It's very attainable, though, right? Because I know, and I look around the leadership that we've got in our unit right now, and that is so doable. So what I need 4 women who are hungry enough that they want to earn an average of $35,000 in their first year as a director. And that's a first-year average. So girls, remember, what average means is you've got the best of the best with the worst of the worst. So if you want a $70,000 first year as a sales director, go do that. Ari Hathaway probably made $100,000 her first year as a director. You don't have to be average. I'm just saying the money's there if you want it. And there's vacancies. Bryn wants how many first line directors this year?
Oh, well, we're going to have 4 really soon.
We're going to copy the poster.
Yes,
We're going to
yes.
have one on each side of the room.
So,
okay?
yeah.
I can't wait to see whose faces are going to get first.
No less than 8 by the end of this year.
No less than 8. And her area is growing fast because we're adding 4 on top of that. Now, then we got the red jackets. We got team leaders. We're going to have 5 team leaders. We currently have 3, but we're real fast. These 3 I'm praying are wanting to go ahead and move on up. We're going to take your face right off the red jacket and move it right on up to the black suit. Doesn't that look better?
Let's go ahead and do
Let's
that.
go for you. Let's do that. These 2 vacancies right here are car drivers. Now, these can be directors in cars, but they can also be consultants who want to do the car. So if you want to be a part-time car driver, you can do that in 15 hours a week. If you zealously work 9 skincare classes a month, we'll get you in a free car. I already proved it, no problem. Red jackets, 3 team members. We need this immediately, because when we get this immediately, this can happen by the end of the year. So this is why we got our beads program going on now. So now we're going to flash over here with Jakey. So when every consultant gets her new team member this month,